Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a while since I've done an NXT show since December 18th of 2019. Today, no, not today, but yesterday was January 8th of 2020, and this is NXT's review for that episode. I will go to say this. This show did a superb job compared to what AEW did. AEW had a great ending. No doubt about it, with Jon Moxley and Chris Jericho's Inner Circle group. That was fantastic ending to a show, but overall AEW did not deliver. But for that one segment in MJF, they did a good job. NXT, on the other hand, delivered wrestling. They delivered build up towards a pay-per-view, more so, I'd have to say, than AEW. And yes, I do compare the two shows, and big YouTubers like JD from New York 206 says you shouldn't, and I don't really give a fuck what he says, because this is my channel and I'm gonna do what I want. But bottom line, I compare these two shows because they are the two big shows of professional wrestling in the United States. They are most definitely entertaining as hell. They have what you're looking for in wrestling. And AEW's kind of lost its way. They're kind of falling off the rails. I'm not very excited or happy with AEW lately. The only thing that seems to be hitting on all cylinders is NXT. And yes, even NXT UK is getting a little bit of the rub from NXT because they're bringing NXT UK talent onto the program. And I believe they're doing that for a good specific reason. To get people interested and wanting to jump over to NXT UK and watch their content as well on the WWE Network, which I don't blame them. I tried watching it. NXT UK, I have a bit of a love-hate kind of thing. I think the wrestling style of the British is a little bit different than what I'm used to, so I kind of stay away from it. But, with all that said, I'm still going to watch NXT UK TakeOver from Blackpool 2 on January 12th, and I'm going to review that for you guys. So I will definitely be catching that at 12 o'clock the afternoon on Sunday. Ring of Honor is actually performing the same day. They're going to be on Sunday night. I don't know if I'm going to review them or not. I don't know if I'm going to review them the day after. Maybe I'll watch the show after on demand on the Ring of Honor Honor Club subscription. Or I may just skip it altogether and not even give you guys a review on it. Because quite frankly, Ring of Honor has not produced anything worth watching or even giving a fuck about to talk about anyway altogether. But this show was good. This had some storyline build-up. It had some good wrestling, especially that Fatal 4-Way main event was awesome. Undisputed Era facing Gallus, the UK Tag Team Champions. Which, by the way, those UK Tag Team titles are fucking gorgeous. Not saying the NXT tag team titles aren't nice, but the NXT UK tag team championships look pretty fucking good as well. Kind of feel like the WWE tag team titles should look something like that. That would be nice to see, but of course that's not going to happen. But anyway, we had that. We had Rhea Ripley getting all kinds of contenders wanting to go after her championship. We also had NXT UK TakeOver build between Kaylee, I forgot her fucking name. I can't believe this. Toni Storm and the person who took her fucking championship, which is Kaylee Kay, I believe. What the hell? Give me one second. So, and Kaylee Ray, excuse me. Her name's Kaylee Ray, the NXT UK Women's Champion, who, by the way, is fucking hot as hell. Not saying Toni Storm ain't hot, because she's got a really nice ass. But that ain't the point. These women can wrestle. They can perform and provide a good wrestling entertainment show to you every single time. Now, we had Rhea Ripley come out, talk a little bit about her win 2-3 weeks ago, whatever, from December 18th. They never really brought any attention to that during the December 25th episode, so they kind of just dragged that along until the official episode for live television would come about. The fans pop when Ripley hits the ring and poses with the title around her waist. The music stops and a "You Deserve It" chant breaks out. Ripley starts talking about memories like winning the title and celebrating on the shoulders of the fans. Ripley will never forget memories like these, which she had a hell of a fucking moment. Wish it would have been on an NXT TakeOver event, but with it being on the final episode of the year, I'm okay with that anyway. She goes to speak, but the music interrupts, and out comes Toni Storm from NXT UK. Storm enters the ring as fans chant for her name, and Storm congratulates Ripley and says she's so proud because she deserves this. Storm brings up about how she defeated Ripley twice before, which I guess at this point it's time for a rubber match and for Storm to finally lose her first match to Ripley. Storm says she will become NXT UK Women's Champion this Sunday at NXT TakeOver Blackpool 2 by defeating the Piper Niven and Piper Niven and champion Kaylee Ray. Holy fuck. Kaylee Ray. And then she will become a double champion by defeating Ripley at Worlds Collide during the Royal Rumble weekend. That should be a very good match, by the way, if they go through with it, which Ripley is all for it. So I don't know if Toni Storm is winning the title from Kaylee Ray at this point, or she's going to lose and still get the championship match with Rhea Ripley. So Ripley accepts the challenge as fans do the two belts chant, and the music interrupts, and out comes Ray with her title. This was very fucking nuts. Ray says no one believes what was just said because there's no way she is taking the title on Sunday or making it to Worlds Collide. Storm quickly interrupted by the music of Io Shirai. This made absolutely no sense. Fans pop big for Shirai, heads out to the ring and walking past Ray on the ramp. Fans chant Oi. So big deal. As she hits the ring with the mic, Shirai makes it clear she wants the title. Bianca Belair is out next as her music hits, and they're chanting for her. Belair, she has a fucking balls to even say anything about how she's better than everybody in the ring, may I add. Thought that was a little fucking pathetic. She's been losing every fucking chance in a big title match opportunity. She's never won once. Pretty much every woman in that ring outside of Candice LeRae and her have not won a championship at all. So Belair says she's got 20/20 vision and she can see that she's better than all the others in the ring. Yeah, like I said, you never won an NXT Women's Championship at all. So I don't know where she's coming up with the remarks to say shit like that. Ripley smacks the mic away anyway, and Candice LeRae is out next as the ring begins to fill up. Ripley tells them all to stop and says Candice must want to fight too. So does Ripley. Ripley attacks Belair out of nowhere, and a big brawl breaks out with everyone else. Ripley, Storm, and LeRae clear the ring and stand tall, talking trash out to Shirai, Ray, and Belair. General manager kind of whistles in the air, not really there, but per se, makes an announcement to the ring announcer to start a 6-man tag team match for them to start at that point. Come back from commercial break, and we're right in the middle of the match. So basically, at the end of all this, we get a really decent, entertaining, fun matchup that Rhea Ripley, Toni Storm, and Candice LeRae win. Ripley tags, basically this is how it ends. Ripley tags in, and Belair turns around to a big boot, and Ripley unloads on Belair with knees and a big drop kick. Ripley goes and hits the Riptide in the middle of the ring for the 1, 2, 3. Apparently Belair is not going to be getting any NXT World Championship opportunity in the women's division anytime soon. So after the match, Ripley stands tall over Belair as her music hits. Storm comes over and stares her down. And this actually was a nice little clue that we may see of Candice LeRae going one-on-one with Rhea Ripley for the NXT Women's Championship, possibly at NXT TakeOver Portland. That happens, I am good with that match. That match is worth doing because of the fact that Candice LeRae has been nearby Ripley Storm the whole entire time through NXT TakeOver War Games, and they've developed a friendship somewhat. And to see them compete over championship gold would be very interesting to see. I wonder how Candice LeRae would compete with a woman like Rhea Ripley. Being as tall as she is and as big as she is, it would leave a good David versus Goliath type matchup altogether. So I would have a good time watching that and seeing how they could make this a little realistic maybe. If they can't, oh well. I mean, at least they tried something new and different, gave a new champion and challenger situation for NXT TakeOver event, because NXT TakeOver's women's division for the women's championship has been nothing but Shayna Baszler ruling the shit out of it. Now, WrestleMania weekend, I could see Shayna Baszler going one-on-one with Ripley in a one-on-one match, finally going after that championship one more time and ending up losing anyway altogether to Ripley to close out their rivalry. So, we also get the matches that contained the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. With the first round, we kind of get the brackets and everything showing there from the graphics that they had. Then we had Tommaso Ciampa wanting his life back. This was an awesome, awesome promo. I really liked what they did with Tommaso Ciampa describing the NXT World Championship as his life. Sounded very similar to what Triple H has said in the past when he was in his prime as an in-ring active wrestler. So I really liked that segment. Him kind of making the comments that Adam Cole took his life away. I don't know how that plays into outside of the fact that he is holding the championship and he's not kind of situation, but Adam Cole never took the championship away from him or got him injured so that he could not defend the title anymore. So that whole statement didn't seem relevant, but the point is he's carrying around his life, his championship that he wants back, and he's got to go through Adam Cole to get it back. And that's pretty much the overall gist of that promo, which again was a very good promo and well produced. I like the way they had him pacing back and forth in the video, really aggravated, wants to get that championship back, and he wants to compete for the title at NXT TakeOver Portland. I like the match. I don't want to see Tommaso Ciampa win it just yet at this event. And not because I'm going to NXT TakeOver Tampa, but because this is NXT's this is the event happening in Tampa is the WrestleMania weekend, which is where that big moment of his should happen. But hey, that's just my opinion. It all depends on what they're going to do, which would be interesting. It would be a surprise to see Tommaso Ciampa actually win the championship instead of maybe getting screwed over, possibly a disqualification to end the show, which is very rare to ever see happen on an NXT takeover. Actually, I don't think, going back and thinking about it, I don't think I've ever seen an NXT World Championship match end with a disqualification, leaving a little cliffhanger to the match itself, building towards another takeover or pay-per-view event for their brand. At least with NXT anyway. So, if that was to happen, I'd be okay for it. I really would. As long as they deliver a really good match for at least 15, 20 minutes. I wouldn't want to see a match that goes longer than 20 minutes and be a fucking disqualification. That's just too long for a match like that ends in disqualification. I don't like that. That's kind of garbage. But like 15, 20 minutes, maximum 20 minutes or under 20 minutes, I would be okay with that, with a disqualification ending. But over 20 minutes, which they have done in the past with a main event for NXT, on TakeOver, I would be totally against. You have to have a finish then. You can't have a disqualification. That would be fucking retarded. That's just wasting everybody's time. So the first matchup that kickstarted the Dusty Road Tag Team Classic was the Imperium versus the Forgotten Sons. Now, if anyone thought that Imperium was going to lose to the Forgotten Sons, you're fucking crazy. Imperium is a very well-liked faction that has one of the toughest, maybe the toughest, world champions on the UK roster. And who is the UK champion, by the way? Who's doing a good job. I mean, I'm not paying attention to their UK shows, but in his championship title defense against Tyler Bate, I thought he did an excellent job. This faction is very entertaining. They got a nice entrance, a very good song. I like the song. I think it's very old school. Which is cool. I mean, when you bring back old school and you make it cool, that I'm cool with. I like that. I think that's good. So like I said, the Forgotten Sons lose to Imperium. Bartel and Ackner are actually the winners here against Steve Cutler and Wesley Blake in this match, and I didn't have any beef with it. This match was outstanding. A good way to kickstart the tag team tournament for Dusty. I like the fact that they respect Dusty Rhodes. If you like Dusty Rhodes so much and you want to show respect to him, why wouldn't you show the respect to his son? I mean, wouldn't be AEW might not be a thing if Cody would have been staying in WWE. I truly think that might have been the case. But then again, you also got the Young Bucks, you got Kenny Omega, and so forth, that might have come up with this idea anyway later on down the line because they didn't like what happened, or they may have joined WWE anyway and went with them, or tried to help Ring of Honor become even more popular than they already are, or what they were at the time. Because at this point in time, they are not popular at all. They're garbage. They're worse than Impact Wrestling, if I could say so myself. Anyway, we had Kathy Kelly interview Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle discussed why he picked Pete Dunne as his tag team partner. And Riddle says he doesn't know Dunne very well, but in the spirit of Dusty's classic tag team tournament, that's what makes them work. Riddle does some more meaty and then he says that their tag team name is the Broserweights will prevail in this tag team tournament. Now, Matt Riddle competing in this tournament and going all the way to the finals with Pete Dunne, I think I'd be alright with that. Now, I don't know how the brackets look. I gotta go back and look at that. But based on the way the brackets look, it looks like the NXT Tag Team Champions Undisputed Era of Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish could end up in the finals against Pete Dunne and Matt Riddle. Which you would think in the main event of that, the finals of that, the tag team titles would be on the line, and also crowning the Dusty Rhodes Classic Tag Team Tournament champions to also get a trophy in the midst of the tag team titles being on the line. That's how I would probably do it. So I'd have to go back and look at their tag team tournament brackets and see how that all plays out and see if they can even go near each other in the finals, which I think they probably can. So they discuss about the tag team champions from the UK division in NXT. They go on to talk about the takeover event for UK. And then we have Austin Theory versus Jaquan Wilde. This is the first time I've ever seen Austin Theory in a matchup. I didn't watch the North American Championship matchup, which was declared to be a classic match. And I thought his in-ring wrestling skills with this kid, Jaquan Wilde, who used to work for Impact Wrestling, he's pretty good. I mean, I didn't get to see him in that matchup, but I think I might go back and just watch it just to see what everybody's clamoring about and seeing what this big deal is about this kid. But he's only 22. 22 years old, and he's already wrestling in the NXT brand. That's pretty damn good, if I say so myself. Austin Theory, of course, won this matchup. I don't believe they would ever make someone like a talent like this that's heavily talked about actually lose. That's completely ridiculous. Very good matchup, man. It wasn't that bad. So then the next match after that was the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic matchup for the second part of this tournament, which is still the first round with Undisputed Era versus Gallus. Of course, Undisputed Era won this match and defeated the UK Tag Team Champions. This was, I would say, pretty solid. I thought this was a good job by both teams. They were very entertaining, a very close matchup, but Undisputed Era manages to win this matchup. See here. The referee actually did get distracted, and Cole decking Wolfgang with a big kick to the head, and Fish and O'Reilly make the tag for the total elimination on Wolfgang for a non-title win to advance to the next round of the tournament. So there was a little bit of shenanigans occurring during that match, but again, this is a heel faction, and they did what they had to do to win. But it was a good match overall. Alright, so we then go ahead and we have a promo by Johnny Gargano, which, by the way, was out of commission for 3 whole months, supposedly by this beatdown of Finn Balor, or by Finn Balor. And we were granted a match between Finn Balor and Johnny Gargano for NXT TakeOver Portland. Man, the matches are just piling up for this fucking takeover. It feels like as if we're going to WrestleMania already, and it's in the month of February this event happens. So you kind of wonder what the fuck's going on here. With NXT TakeOver War Games, they didn't do the same shit that they're doing here. They're kind of going back to the way they used to do things. Schedule a lot of matches within just a couple of weeks, and still have weeks left over to build on them and make it even more popular and more hyped up than it needs to be, which is what NXT was all about, and they're back to doing that, thank God. But yeah, Johnny Gargano, he does mention, he says that he's been waiting a long time to get a live mic to talk about the Prince, which is Finn Balor now. The boos get louder. Gargano says he's not going to take anything away from what Finn Balor has done in NXT for building the brand, and he won't take anything away from Finn Balor putting him on the shelf for a few months. But all of that is the past. Gargano says that Balor likes to say his future is his past. Well, your past is now standing in front of you in the ring, because Balor did not finish the job when he had him on the ramp. Very excellent delivered promo by Johnny Gargano. He is fantastic. He reminds me, he does remind me a little of John Cena, with very hyped up, gets you very hyped up for what is about to happen or what you're going into to see what match he's going to have or who he's working with. And he makes the match between him and his opponent very important. And that's something that wrestling doesn't have anymore, practically at all, especially on the WWE main roster. Gargano goes on and talks about how Balor couldn't wait to put the NXT flag down and get the hell out of here to the main roster. Gargano says he got the same phone call from WWE, and thank God he was smart enough to turn down the offer and stay in NXT, because that's where real wrestling is at. And the reason why he stayed was because he loves the place. He actually means it. More fans cheer for Gargano now as the Johnny Wrestling chant starts to echo throughout the entire NXT arena. But there's still a mixed reaction overall. Gargano talks about how he came to NXT and took it to new heights with the fans, but without Balor, because he abandoned the damn place. Gargano says that NXT left Balor behind, and that eats Balor alive. Eats him alive, that NXT didn't need him. The music finally interrupts, and out comes Balor. Balor congratulates Gargano on the promo. I thought that was funny as hell. He has turned into an outstanding wrestler. I don't understand why the fuck Finn Balor couldn't be this kind of person on the WWE main roster. What is so bad about this guy? What? Because he's not 6 feet or taller? He's 5'11" and he weighs like 215 or 20 pounds? Who gives a shit? The guy can fucking wrestle, and he can do what he needs to do in the ring to get over in a match. But hey, that's Vince McMahon for you. Alright, so he congratulates Gargano and says maybe he should be called Johnny Promo now, because that's the only thing doctors have cleared him to do. Balor admits Gargano cost him the NXT title a few weeks back, and Gargano laughs, and Balor threatens to knock his head off. Balor goes on and calls him soft. Balor says he will give Gargano his match at TakeOver Portland on February 16th, if Gargano makes it that far. Balor drops a mic, and they stare each other down as the music hits. And that was pretty much that. Very good promo by both guys, and great segment. So Kushida announces that his tag team partner to the Dusty Classic Tag Team Tournament will be none other than the veteran star Alex Shelley, formerly a tag team they were tag team champions in the junior heavyweight division of their tag team division in Japan and on the Indies. And they'll be in action next week against the Grizzled Young Veterans. That should be entertaining to see. I think they will be going pretty far, at least by the second round, I think. And then they'll probably lose in the second round before they get to the finals. We then have Mia Yim versus Kaden Carter, which Mia Yim wins. I didn't even pay attention to this match. This was probably the worst match on the card. Not that it was horrible or anything, or there was really bad wrestling going on between these two. It just there was no substance to it, nor was it all that interesting to even watch. So after the match, we get a show of respect in the middle of the ring after replays, and Chelsea Green runs down and attacks out of nowhere. This guy, Robert Stone, formerly known as Robbie E. What the fuck? Holy shit! Robbie E? I didn't know that was Robbie E. That's fucking crazy. That's new to me. He didn't even look like Robbie E. He used to go by that name in TNA. He was acting like a Jersey Shore reject. That's fucking crazy. Holy shit, he's playing a manager for Chelsea Green. That's funny. So he's on the ramp with the mic, and he says 2020 will be the year of the Robert Stone brand, and that starts with the #1 hottest free agent, Chelsea. And they leave together, and that's it. So they go ahead and lead to another video package by Tommaso Ciampa, very similar to the first one that they had about him wanting to regain the NXT World Championship belt back. That was pretty much the whole video there. Both videos were good, but the second one's just kind of repetitive and really I don't think was needed, but they kind of, I guess, did it for dramatical effect. So a fatal 4-way match was done. We had Damian Priest versus Keith Lee versus Dominic Djokovic versus Cameron Grimes to crown a #1 contender for the NXT North American Championship. The winner, of course, was Keith Lee. If you thought it was anybody else, you're fucking mistaken. Especially if you thought it was Cameron Grimes. You're fucking crazy. I would have been fucking shitting in my pants if I would have seen that. I thought that would have been the most booking decision of all time. The guy ain't worthy of shit. Damian Priest, maybe. Dominic Djokovic, save that for when Keith Lee wins the NXT North American Championship. Because, folks, I believe the Undisputed Era is going on a downward spiral. They're not going to be holding the championships for very much longer. I think the first one that's losing it is Roderick Strong. I think Keith Lee is going to be the champion. I think we're going to see Dominic Djokovic compete for the NXT North American Championship against Keith Lee later on. And we will see that at either Portland or in Tampa. One of those two matches. Or one of those two shows. I don't care which. Either way, I'm cool with whatever show they go to. But I would definitely like to see that live and in person, those two guys competing. Because they can put on a hell of a fucking match, those two. But yeah, Keith Lee wins this match. This match was superb. I absolutely loved the main event. I thought it was great. It was a good way to close out the match. And Keith Lee is the man going on to face Roderick Strong for the NXT North American Championship. And that was pretty much the overall gist of this show. I enjoyed it. I hope you did. If you did watch it. If you didn't, go back and watch it. I know I may have given you all the results of this show, but my God, this is well worth going back and watching for yourself. I didn't go over what happened within the matches. I just stated who won and who lost. But overall, guys, this was a good show. This was fun. It built a lot of stuff up going into NXT TakeOver Portland. There were some matches announced for Worlds Collide. They had some hype of NXT UK TakeOver Blackpool 2. I thought they did an awesome job hitting on all cylinders, building on all kinds of different shows that they need to hype up and make important. I thought that was a great job by NXT, and it was fun to watch. Anyway, guys, hit the like button if you like this video. Hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed to the channel, and leave a comment down below, and I'll get back to you on that as well. Thanks a lot, guys, and have a great night.